Coming to you from the Big Island of Hawaii, it's the Songs and Stories Podcast. And now, here's your host, Steve Roby.
Aloha, you're listening to a very special interview I did with Hawaiian music legend Robert Cazimero. It was conducted at the Kahilu Theatre prior to his concert on May 21st, 2022. Please stick around toward the end of the podcast where you'll hear some bonus material. I pulled out my copy of the Waimea Music Festival double album. It was a concert recorded in Waimea, close to the Waimea airport in 1974. Robert hadn't seen the album for decades and was amazed and looked at the cover and the inside photos and had some precious memories that he'll share with you, the listener. Aloha, this is Steve Roby, and we're backstage at the Kahilu Theatre. It's May 21st, and my guest today is the legendary Hawaiian musician, Robert Cazimero. Aloha, Robert.
Aloha, and it's so nice to be talking with you this day here at the Kahilu Theatre.
Yeah. This is your 36th concert here at the Waimea Theatre in May.
Is it really?
Your May, is it really? Yeah. I guess we won't count 2020 because the whole place was closed down.
Yeah.
But so give me a little bit of back history here. Back in 1978, it looks like you and your brother started the Lay Day, May Day tradition at the Waikiki Shell, and somehow it branched out to the Big Island?
It branched out here to Hawaii Island and also to Maui. And so what happened, it became a triad of events that started in Honolulu, usually went to Maui first because it was usually the day after May Day. We always did May Day concerts on May Day. So whatever day that was, the next day would be on Maui. And then the weekend after that, we'd come to Waimea. But I always looked forward to Waimea because since I was, our family's from Kohala right over the mountains. So anytime I could come to Waimea was going to be a treat. Once I'd been here, I think I was it was my junior year in high school. The first time I came here. And I'm going to talk about it. I have a concert here this evening at the theater, and I'm going to talk about that too, that coming here at 15, 16 years old. Yeah.
So was it like the first concert on the Big Island in these 36 years? At Kahilu Hall, you were telling me, does it predate the theater?
By that time, I think, no, we were here already. I think the theater had already opened. But we used to do shows at the Kahilu Hall when we were in high school because that's where the community was. They would all meet there, and that was built by the ranch as well. So they would have their big Christmas parties there, or whenever they had a big event. And so from high school days, we used to come to perform there. But Roland and I, we were here at the Kahilu Theatre, and it's interesting to see how it's developed and how it's improved, and how it's been so much appreciation for it as the years have progressed.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Worldwide now with Kahilu TV, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's amazing, yeah.
I mean, the COVID action certainly did a trip on all of us, but at the same time, there were some things and new avenues that opened up that really helped people get into places that at one time were almost like our own little secret, and we kind of liked it that way. And now, the secret is ready to be spread, and Kahilu is one of those truly magical secrets.
Yes, it is. Yes, yeah. Well, let's talk about today's show.
Okay.
Are there special guests? I'm sure you have dancers. Your shows are always spectacular. Can you give us a little insight of what those watching on Kahilu TV can look forward to when they turn?
Yeah, I have had special guests in the past, and after Roland's passing, I continue to do that way, but I've just returned from Japan. I just got back on Monday.
Wow.
And we did what was called a Legends concert of myself, Kuana Taurus, and Kile'i Shell. And it was absolutely great. And so getting ready for Waimea here at Kahilu was a real rushed thing, even though we know we were going to do it, and I tried to get a program out. So I don't have a special guest as far as someone singing is concerned, but I have 4 dancers with me. 3 of the guys from my hula school in Honolulu, and our 4th dancer is a young girl from this area. And we used her last year when we had a small little show here at the theater.
Right.
And her name is Lahela. She's married to Spencer, a boy. And so they live here in Waimea. So I called her. I said, "Will you dance with us?" She's like, "Yes, Kumu. Yes, I'll do it." So there will be 5 of us on stage.
Beautiful,
together.
wonderful.
And I'm not sure who'll be in the audience tonight, so whether there's someone special coming up from there, we'll have to wait to see how that
Sometimes
happens.
Auntie Penny shows up, right?
I haven't seen Penny for years, but we know each other from Sunday Manoa days.
And then Auntie Betty occasionally shows up with the glasses.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know, are you going to be doing a kind of a meet and greet or?
I decided not to do it, especially with the COVID
Right,
thing now.
numbers
And there's
up,
this
yeah.
new surge that's coming up.
Right.
And it's supposed to really take its toll. So I thought, for my safety and for their safety as well, because, I would feel very bad knowing that I would have infected people that way.
Better safe than...
Yeah, and like I said, I just got back from Japan.
Oh,
And they're very strict there, right there. All the protocols are still in. So we had so much paperwork that we needed to do before you could even get off the plane. And then once off the plane, then you went through these different stations to get to a final room where everybody waited for a number that they were given. And once that's shown on the board, then you were cleared to go to customs. You don't even reach customs yet.
Wow.
I was the last one in the room.
Okay.
I was waiting for 4 hours.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow. So that explains why the tourist is down
exactly.
from Japan.
And that also explains why I don't think I should go in the front because I'm just back from Japan.
Yeah.
And I just don't want to,
Sure. Yeah.
But so our show is loaded with good friends and lots of memories and pretty songs. Pretty nice song. Yeah.
Good. Is there a particular concert that stands out in your career as maybe one of the most memorable or...
Here in Waimea?
Or anywhere, yeah.
Oh.
Unusual or memorable or something that really...
everyone... Thank you for asking that question, first of all. Because people have asked and have been surprised by the answer I gave, because most people think that performing at Carnegie Hall would have been a very, very high point. It was a really wonderful concert. But we have had concerts here in Waimea at the Kahilu Theatre that Carnegie Hall couldn't even hold a candle to.
Wow.
And that's not to say that Carnegie isn't something special. What it does say is that Waimea is really something special. And the people that come to the concert here. Roland and I have always, I feel like Blanche Dubois. We have pretty much depended on the kindness of strangers, and that both our audiences have been both malihini, or visitors, as well as kama'aina, people of the land. And with that kind of an audience, even if you are malihini or a visitor or whatever, if you have a question and you can't understand what's happening on stage, there's always some local person next to you who is, before you can even ask, would say, okay, you don't know what's going on, but here's what's going on, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And to have that kind of an audience is to know such supreme comfortability. And that's the one thing that performing in Hawaii usually has over the mainland. And so I would say that when I think about some of the most outstanding ones, I think about 30 years ago, we performed here at Kahilu Theatre, and we were singing on stage, and suddenly the hanging lamps in the room, the chandeliers, started to sway. It was an earthquake.
Oh, no.
Yes, while we were singing. And we stopped singing, and I looked at Roland, and Roland looked at me, and we were singing a Pele song at the time. And he goes, well, I guess she's just saying hello. And I was like, I hope it's a quick hello and a fast goodbye. That was most memorable. And then there was one show in San Francisco that we performed. We used to perform every Christmas at the Holiday Inn in the financial district.
Oh, yeah.
And
my old hometown, San Francisco.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, then you know exactly what I'm
Chinatown
talking about.
there?
Well, one night there was a power shortage, and it was just as we started our show, and we were going to, just cancel it. And our sound guy at the back of the hall, it wasn't that big. It definitely was that, it was just in a hotel.
Yeah.
And he had a flashlight, and he shined it from the back, and all it got was Roland and I, and the people started to clap. We did the whole show without any sound.
Whoa.
We just pulled our instruments to the front. Our dancers danced on the floor in front of people, and we did an hour and 45-minute
Really?
show. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It was one of the best shows. And this is not to be meant to be a cut to anybody today, but there's a great opportunity today to be able to be an entertainer and not be terribly talented, because there are machines that can help you do that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know, that's the kind of thing where, like, if you don't have an innate understanding or talent of being able to sing or perform or to even communicate with people, to be as honest as you can with them without sounding snooty and stuff like that. That's a real test when that can happen like that, when everything goes off.
Yeah.
You know, and that will live in my memory forever.
That's a great one.
And then to bring it right back to to just being, you know, grassroots kind of a thing. You want to talk about having a little party and jamming in Gabby Pahinui's backyard in Waimanalo? Brother, it was a trip. And I wasn't, at the time I was really young, and I really had nothing to give except my voice. You know, nothing, because he had every musician that you could think of that should be there that was Hawaiian music at the time was right there in his yard. So I was lucky just to be able to sing along. I was lucky just to be able to sit there and watch that happen.
I think I told you last year, you got to write a book, Robert.
Yes, you did tell me that. That's right, you did. Yeah.
Someday we'll get a book out of you.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, speaking of the past and the present, how would you say contemporary Hawaiian music has evolved over the years that you've been involved with entertainment?
You know, and for me, my answer would be that when we began with the Sunday Manoa, we were playing Hawaiian music that was thought of as being very, very much out of the box. It's not that we change any of the lyrics and not so much the tempo of things, but more so the idea of bringing songs in with a new freshness of what was going on in the world at that time, with a heavy based foundation on Hawaiian music from the old days. But always, because it was considered contemporary Hawaiian music, we had no control of what was going to happen after that. And so what has happened is that it's exploded. It's headed into the skies. It's taken on its own kind of metamorphosis. In that island music, reggae music, all has become contemporary Hawaiian music. And so if you're looking for our kind of Hawaiian music, it's almost considered like, you know, Roland and I used to love to say that we're considered the dinosaurs of Hawaiian music. But being a dinosaur means that you're still connected to who you are and what we are.
Yeah.
And sometimes in the idea of becoming progressive, you lose track of that. And my hope is that it's going to happen. It has happened. But that somewhere along the line, somewhere in there, somebody is still holding on to that foundation.
Yeah.
Because once it doesn't, then it's really not Hawaiian music as much as it's just worldwide music. And so I would say that Hawaiian music's in danger. I said years ago at a Hoku Hano Hano Award, we're at war. Our Hawaiian music is at war because we're losing real quickly. And I remember when the kupuna used to tell Roland and I that because of the music that we two and Peter were doing. And then it's interesting enough that we were able to hold on to that foundation, because then they came back and said, okay, keep doing what you're doing. You're doing fine, you know. And then there was a rash of Hawaiian singers that came along after that helped perpetuate that, with the Makaha Sons and Jerry Olomana and stuff like that. And then eventually you get to like Mackie Fury them and Country Comfort and Kapono and Cecilio and Kapono and stuff like that. Then it starts really getting out there. But I think we just hope for the best.
Keep on going.
Great question.
Oh, thank you. You once said singing is life.
Yes.
Is there a particular song you feel that expresses that joy?
There is. But more than the song itself, it's more the thought and the understanding of singing for me. And that comes with being aware that it is a gift. it doesn't last forever. You've got to really take care of it. And that with it comes an obligation. So for me, yes, there are songs, but before I can do that song, I have to take care of the voice. And I have to realize that no matter how much I think that the legendary Robert Cazimero is performing, that you cannot be legendary unless you've actually done something. You cannot go to the doctor twice and become the dentist. You have to put in time. You have to get your wax. You got to let people hit you down to the point where you think you're bleeding, and then the test of that is to be able to take what they've said and to work on that, to get to the point where eventually people think that you are a legend, when the whole point of that is that I come from a line of legends who have helped me get to where I am. My job now is to make sure that I help keep creating legends so that after I'm gone, they can have this kind of interview with you.
Wow. What an education. Well, that's a great answer. Thank you. So what's the rest of the year look like for you? Have you got some touring plans, recording plans, or are you just going to take the rest of the year off?
Well, all of the above. You know, again, after Roland passed away, I thought to myself, okay, I'm just going to wind down. I'll be happy with what I have. I have had more than my share of good luck and wonderful memories. And then along came my friend, Kuana Torres, who said to me, hey, what you been writing lately? And I was like, you know, and this is just when COVID hit. And I was like, well, nothing. He goes, well, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, do you know how old I am? And he's like, I know you're still breathing. So what's the excuse? So we started playing music together because it was different. You know, with Roland gone, I had to learn how to do these things by myself. And yes, I could do it when I had the halal, but it was still different from actually doing a show where people expect the brothers, when suddenly it's the brother.
Yeah, right. To refine everything. Huh?
Exactly, you know, to be able to do like what I'm doing tonight here at Kahilu. And yet at the same time, it was because of Roland and our other third partner in crime, who you might have heard about, Lena Alahaini Kalama, that I learned how to be that way so that I can do it today. With both of them gone, but actually I may not be able to see them, but I know they're by my side. But with Kuana being able to say, okay, we're going to do an album, you're going to have to write these songs, did you finish the song, and then suddenly doing the album. So we have been doing shows together. We've done concerts in Japan. We have more of that coming up together and individually. We're going to work on we have plans to do at least 2 more CDs or albums before the year is over.
Really?
But if I can share the biggest news for you from me, is that in 2025, I will celebrate being a kumuhula for 50 years.
Wow.
I started in 1975. And so we are now in meetings. We have committee people. We have people on the mainland. We're talking about, you know, concerts up and down the coast and here and there, and of course in Kahilu. But all of these leading up to 2025, when it'll be the 50th year.
Is there a specific date?
Which would be June 11th. June 11th. Because that's our birthday on Kamehameha Day.
Okay.
So that'll end up with a huge concert in Honolulu, but there will be concerts leading up to it, including what I'm hoping will be one of my favorite ones here at Kahilu.
Oh, wow.
And on that one, I hope to bring the whole halau.
Get your tickets now.
Yeah, that's what I say. And I think, you know, if the theater is willing to, we should do 2. Because I think we would have people flying in for that thing. And the whole thing, what I have to do now is keep breathing. That's my job.
Yeah,
so
stay healthy.
Yeah, the world is, it sounds like a cliche. It is a cliche. It's an oyster. And I'm not an oyster eater. However, I've learned to like pearls.
Ah. Okay.
So the world is my pearl.
The world is your pearl.
Yeah.
Last question for you. In your long list of accomplishments, what do you see as an inspiration for the next generation?
Wow. Well, what do I see as...
What have you done in your...
Perseverance, first of all. If you have a dream, if you think you have a dream, and this is my kumu saying to me, I can hear her saying, if you're going to do it, and even if you know it's wrong, if it's not going to hurt anybody, and in the end it'll come back to you, then go ahead and do it. But if you're going to think it's going to hurt somebody else, then don't do it. So I would say, as hard as it is sometimes, listen to your elders. Don't expect things to always be cheery and beautiful and a Maserati around the corner, because it ain't. Sometimes it's just a Honda. But the thing about that is, you get to a certain point in your life where you realize it doesn't matter what's around the corner, it's the journey to get around the corner. That's the kind of a thing that I would like to pass on.
Yeah. Enjoy the journey, enjoy the ride.
Yeah. And the other thing is that, and it took me a while to get this. It really did. This doesn't happen overnight. It really doesn't. You have to go through a couple of lifetimes in your own lifetime. But the thing about it is, we're all going to have lessons. They're going to be good lessons and they're going to be bad lessons, which in the end can be really the best lessons you could ever hope for. It's however you take that lesson and what you can do with it, whether you can rise with it or whether you let it take you down. Once you rise with it, no matter how many times, and there will be other times that will still bring you down, once in your mind and in your heart and in your soul, you know that you have brought yourself out before, because there's nobody else that can do it. Nobody. You may think that by marrying a perfect partner, this is what's going to happen. By buying that big diamond ring or the Maserati again, that you have made it in your life. No. It's how you get from the lowest point to the highest point and come back down again, and knowing, because of doing it one time and bringing it back up, that you can allow yourself to come down, because you know that you'll be able to pick yourself up. Therein lie the answers to lessons and to life, to my life. And that's just Robert Cazimero's life. It's not anybody else's life, because we all have options to do it the way we want. But for me, I've been one of the lucky ones, for sure. And who knew I was going to live to frickin' 73? I thought I was going to be gone in my 20s.
And you're already planning a major concert in 2025.
Exactly. When I woke up on the day after my 60th birthday, I thought to myself, well, it's not like I can make a 20-year plan. So I made a 30-year plan. And so far, I'm on 13 of those 30 years.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So from now on, anything after that, the powers that be, the divine creator, my alma kua, whatever, I am beyond grateful. And so I know that it's going to be good for quite a while.
All right, Robert. Well, I'm grateful for the time you gave me today for this interview.
I'm sorry, I've been talking like a fool.
Well, we can go on till the showtime.
We could, couldn't we? Yeah. Well, because you're a great interviewer. You have great questions.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Yeah, keep doing it.
Okay. I'll make a 30-year plan then.
I think that's a great idea, considering you're 40 what?
Where's the merch table? I need to buy some of your merch. Load me up.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Aloha.
Aloha.
If you enjoy the Songs and Stories podcast, we'd love for you to subscribe, rate, and give a review on iTunes. Be sure to visit BigIslandMusic.net to join the conversation, access the show notes, and discover our fantastic bonus content. Now, back to the show.
Can you imagine all of us fit on this little stage?
There's some photos. Is there one shot of you inside? Have you seen this album in a while?
I haven't seen this forever.
The gatefold cover opens up, and I think there's one photo of you. I could be wrong, but over in the right, is that you?
Yeah, that's me. With lots of hair.
Yeah.
And more than 3/4 drunk, I will tell you. We were all on the same plane coming towards Waimea. And if that plane had crashed, Hawaiian music would have been dead.
Oh, man. So you're playing bass there?
Yeah.
And it looks like it's in a tiny field somewhere around here?
It's right down by the airport.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How many people do you think there were?
I don't know, because you had to pay to come in there, and some people did. But then there were the cowboys and the four-wheel drives all up on the top. It was just such a fun day.
What a lineup, too. They had Wally Heider recording it.
Yeah, there's Sonny Chillingworth. And yeah, like I said, we're all on the plane together, and that's Gramps. Gramps was the MC. I think I can't really tell who that is now. That's Pops, that's Gabby Pahinui, and this group, was the Campbell Boy was in it, the Hussey Boy, I forget what they were called, and Bruce Spencer them, Peter, there's Allah, and Auntie Genoa. Wow.
I'm glad somebody preserved it and recorded it.
And a lot of these pictures were taken by a good friend of ours named Robert Knight.
Oh, yeah.
Who is really, he has become quite a photographer of rock and roll stars.
I love his Jimi Hendrix stuff.
Yeah. So he now lives in Aotearoa, actually. So, but we were on the plane together, and he took all these pictures, and that's that little box that we all performed in. Gosh. And you know what happened was, so Allah, our dancer, when she got on stage, all the microphones were set up, and we were behind. We had another set. Those microphones were for the recording. Allah came in and moved them all on the side, and so that's why our section is so short, because they didn't have a lot of the songs recorded.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Did anybody shoot any film or any?
As I remember it, there was no video.
Okay.
Only photography at the time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What a shame.
And there obviously no phones then.
Yeah, of course.
know,
I think it's 74, right?
Yeah. But oh God, the fun that we had. And Loyal was there too. Wow.
I can only imagine that.
Yeah. Good fun.
Yeah.
And then after that, they never did it there anymore, and then they moved it up to Waikiki. Somebody else took it over up there. I think that was Melinda Carroll and her husband.
And this predates the Slack Key Guitar Festival that the theater had here. The theater wasn't even built yet.
No, and because when we first came here, we used to perform at Kahilu Hall, which used to be where the that open market is now. It's that building in the front that's done with white trim and kind of like a burgundy color. That was called Kahilu Hall.
Kahilu Hall.
Yeah, and then from Kahilu Hall, they built Kahilu Theatre.
I see.
How's that, huh?
Wow, and it's Richard Smart's birthday today.
Really?
Yeah. So it's a historic date all around. Yeah.
You know, I remember meeting him too. And did you know Auntie Anna Perry Fisk?
No.
What a force that was. I mean, there were quite a few mana wahine back then too, but she was a ranch woman, and hers was that big white house. Before you get to the road to Kwai Hai on the right-hand side with all the beautiful gardens and stuff. That was Auntie Anna Perry Fisk.
Nice.
Yeah, we used to, every time when we came to Waimea, we had to stop by that house. And as she waned in her health, we were with her the last year before she passed, and Roland and I would always play for her. You know, she's the one who told me, Robert, don't you ever call this place Kamuela. I was like, okay, Auntie. I said, Auntie, I don't. She goes, good. She says, because your ohana will tell you, and I will tell you, it is Waimea. It always has been, and it always will be. I'll say,
okay.
Auntie, okay.
Thanks for listening to the Songs and Stories podcast. Make sure you never miss a show by clicking the subscribe button now. This podcast is made possible by listeners like you. Thank you for your support. We'll see you next week on Songs and Stories. Aloha.